Welcome to Friendly Math 101. Today our lesson is on writing linear equations in standard form. This is part 1 of 2 videos. Let's take a look at what standard form looks like. Standard form is ax plus by equals c. There are 2 things we have to keep in mind when we're writing equations in standard form. First of all, we cannot have any fractions or decimals. And we'll talk about how we get rid of those once we get to our examples. The second thing we have to keep in mind is that our a value must be positive. So we don't really care if the b value or c value are negative or positive, but the a value must be positive. Let's take a look at our first example. So I have standard form written in the top right corner, and that way we can remind ourselves on what our answer should look like. And for this example, we have an equation written in point-slope form. The first thing we're going to do in point-slope form is distribute to get rid of the parentheses. We're going to move the constants to the right side of the equation. That's going to be our c value. So I'm going to add 4 here and add 4 here. We end up with y equals 3x plus 19. Now our equation's written in slope-intercept form, but we need our x value to be on the left-hand side of our equation. So we're going to use inverse operations. I'm going to subtract 3x. Whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other side of the equation. And here we have a negative a value. Remember, our a value must be positive. So to undo that, we're going to simply multiply by a -1. And that's going to change the signs in our equation. However, it will not change the values. So -1 times -3x is positive 3x, and then negative y and -19. That's our equation in standard form. Let's take a look at an example that's written in slope-intercept form. Again, I have standard form written in the top right corner as a reminder of what our answer should look like. We need to move our x term to the left-hand side. So we're applying inverse operations. I'm going to add because there was a negative x there. And we get 1/2 x plus y equals 7. So our a value is positive, however, we do have a fraction. To undo the fraction, we're going to multiply the entire equation by the denominator. So we have to remember we need to distribute this to every term in our equation. 2 times 1/2 x is 1x, 2 times y is 2y, and 2 times 7 is 14. So this is our answer in standard form. Let's take a look at one more example. Here we have another equation that's written in slope-intercept form. And we want our equation to be written in standard form. So we're going to move that x term again to the left by applying inverse operations. This time we're going to subtract because it was a positive value. And we can't combine our x and our y, so we just write them next to each other. So -3/4 x plus y equals 8. Here we have 2 issues. We have a negative a value and we also have a fraction. So we could undo both of those issues by multiplying the entire equation by one thing. So we know that multiplying a negative will undo the negative, but we also know that we need to multiply by the denominator to get rid of the fraction. So we're multiplying by a negative denominator. Distribute it throughout every term in your equation, and we get 3x minus 4y is equal to -32. And this is our equation written in standard form. That concludes our lesson for today on writing equations in standard form. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave those questions in the comment section below. And for more math tutorials, subscribe to our channel, Friendly Math 101.